From classic comic characters to originals for the show, over the course of 4 seasons, The Boys has managed to flesh out this wild world with characters we both love and hate. So today I'm going to be ranking all of the characters from The Boys. And the tiers we have on screen today are bad, meh, good, great, and best of the best. And before we get into it, let me know your ranking for all of these characters in the comments down below. And over 98% of you guys who watch these videos aren't yet subscribed. So if you do enjoy this video and don't want to miss out on more of my reviews or rankings, hit that button. But without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Starting it off, we have one of the original characters from The Boys season 4, and that is Firecracker. She's gonna go in good.
You did this for me?
I'll do anything for you.
She is a definition of a good side character that plays her role. She elevates all of our main characters, but she doesn't necessarily have a unique story of her own. And then we have Starlight. She's gonna go in great. I know a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on Starlight, but I think her arc throughout the first 3 seasons was super notable. In season 4, I feel like she didn't have as much of a story to tell. She was more so just a character that aided in Hughie's storytelling, even though she technically would be a main character within The Boys, and her transition from being a key part of the 7 to being a key part of The Boys is really cool, and I think that's a great character arc. But when all these other characters have more entertaining conflicts and just more entertaining stories in general, Starlight kind of falls to the bottom of the core cast in my opinion. And then we have MM. MM is gonna go in great, just below Starlight. I think overall MM is having more of an interesting story within the last 2 seasons, but for how deeply rooted Starlight is in the first 2 seasons of this series, I feel like she just has to be above him. I just think MM is a definition of a great side character that has had story moments throughout the series, but isn't necessarily just a main character that has a lot going on that influences the main storyline. And then we have Frenchie, who honestly I'm really split on. I'm gonna go top of good for Frenchie, and the reason I go good and not great is because I actually really like the direction they were heading with Frenchie in the first 3 to 4 episodes of season 4. I thought the whole idea of him kind of coping with this trauma was really interesting, but the way that they handle his character and kind of his return at the end of season 4, I didn't really like that at all. I felt like it was a little bit too nonchalant in regards to him and Kimiko are so deeply rooted and so intertwined, but it feels like all of that character motivation and honestly just character arc is just brush past. But I think Frenchie is a good character. He's had great arcs throughout this season, and I really like the way his character ends off in season 4. And then we have Kimiko. I'm gonna go Kimiko at the top of great. This might be a hot take, but I genuinely think through the first season to the final season, even though Kimiko has had a really slow character arc, I feel like episode 7 of season 4 truly brings all of that to a peak. And yes, obviously stuff does happen in the finale, but for character work itself, and not only the reasons she doesn't speak, but her ties to other characters that were introduced in season 2 as well as season 4, I believe, there's just a lot of different things, and the way that she's subtly grown throughout the series is something I find really interesting. And then we have Stan Edgar. I'm going to put him at the bottom of good. Now, obviously he's had more of an overall impact on the story than Firecracker, but I think Firecracker is just more entertaining. Giancarlo Esposito, though, is one of the best actors to dip his toes into The Boys, and I think he's had a great impact on the series as a whole. And then we have the Deep. He is absolutely hilarious. I'm torn. I'm really torn on this one. I'm gonna go top of good. Now, the reason I do this isn't because he has some profound character arc that makes him some amazing character.
Wah, wah, wah. Sup, cumburgers?
He is easily one of the most entertaining characters of this entire series. I don't know how to explain it, man. I love him. He's entertaining. He's exciting. He's not a good dude, but he's fun.
You know, I dislike sexual assault as much as the next guy. That's some bad stuff. Rape, boo, don't like it. But...
And then we have A-Train. I'm gonna go top of great with A-Train. I know everyone's been riding the high of A-Train being just a great character in season 4. Actually, okay, maybe I gotta go a little lower. I'm gonna go bottom of great. Okay, sorry, a little bit of bias was talking to me there. I think A-Train's arc in season 4 is phenomenal, and it truly was something I felt like was gonna be wrapped up in season 3 in regards to him kind of coming to terms with Hughie, but it truly felt like Homelander could have killed him at any second throughout this series. After episode 3 of season 4, I was truly like, damn, he's dying this episode, he's dying this episode, he's dying this. I thought he was always on the verge of death. And obviously, at a certain point he kind of gets away and then he kind of gets brought back in. And so I love the way that this series has taken advantage of the A-Train storyline, and he is a great way to have a lot of political commentary, but also a great way to just have general laughs and entertainment with this character that's also a little bit heartfelt. And then we have Black Noir. This is the actual Black Noir, the one that died in season 3. This character, I'm going to go at the bottom of good. I think this character in season 3 was a really big focus, and I don't mind that they killed him off right after we started focusing on him more and more. But in terms of entertainment value, the Black Noir that we had before wasn't really up there. And then we have the Black Noir from season 4, the actor who plays Black Noir. This one I'm going to go at the top of meh. Now, this isn't to say that it's a bad character or it's just an average character. There is just no purposeful depth to this character, and that's just how the writing is. I'm just saying it's meh in comparison to all these other characters, but I still think that this is a hilarious character.
Yo, what the fuck? That was so fucked up, you guys.
Probably one of the best ways to use the humor as a catalyst in regards to just not only moving the overall story forward, but just keeping a sense of humor in a series that's gotten really, really dark lately. I just love the direction that they took Noir in overall. And then we have Sage. She's going to go at the bottom of great. I just don't think I can put her near the top of great because we've only had one season with her. But for what a side character she is, I absolutely love the way that she's introduced. And I feel like, unlike Firecracker, she truly has some oomph to her character in regards to let's not stand up to Homelander, but let's do something that Homelander can't. Sage does that in a sense, but the whole point of her is that she is smarter and not stronger, but smarter. And then we have Ashley. Ashley is hilarious. I mean, I'm going to put her in good though. Honestly, I'd go right below Frenchie just because I feel like Frenchie has more of a tangible, I guess, thematic element to him. Ashley is just weird. Nobody's matching Ashley's freak ever. She is the freak. I think Ashley is hilarious, a great addition to this series, and I love the way that Sage comes in and then elevates Ashley's storyline as well, something that I wasn't really expecting. And then we have Becca. Now, this is a hard one because I'm going to put her at the top of meh just because I feel like throughout most of the series, she was an essential part to Butcher's character. But as a character herself, obviously, she's just meant to be aiding Butcher's storyline. I do think, though, she would have been in, I guess, bad because there really was no true evolution for her character until season 4. Whenever she becomes part of these hallucinations and she is the angel while Kessler is the devil on Butcher's shoulder, I think that adds a lot of impact to her character. And it's something that it's kind of different for this show, other than obviously the hallucinations that Noir was having. We never really get this like supernatural element to the psyche of these characters. And I think Becca was a great addition to season 4 specifically. And then we have Hughie's dad. He's going to go He's going to go at top of meh as well. This is kind of a Becca situation where the character is pretty much only there to kind of motivate another character. He's great. I mean, such an underutilized actor in the entirety of this show, but I kind of understand why. I mean, I feel like the lack of him is also something that really excels Hughie's character, which we'll talk about later. But I think season 4 was the greatest season of The Boys in regards to being a catalyst for character moments, and Hughie's dad was obviously a major part of that. And then we have Crimson Countess. I don't know why the fuck I put her in this tier list. She's going in bad. And then we have Kate. Now, I did include our main Gen V characters in this tier list, and I'm going to be ranking them on, obviously, Gen V as well, not just their little cameo in The Boys. Kate is the overall villain of Gen V Season 1, which was a twist that I wasn't really expecting. It's not so a twist as much as an overall character evolution, but for that, I am going to put her somewhere in great, honestly. I'll probably put her right below Starlight. I think with her boyfriend dying in the beginning of the series, and then her having entanglements with other characters, and then her also just understanding what she wants to and what she doesn't want to do, and how her powers have changed her as a human being, and how young she is, along with Marie and all the other characters. And then we have Hughie's mom. She is also going to go in meh, probably below the Black Noir actor, just because, again, we haven't gotten much of her, but I will say again, her character impact on Hughie was immaculate. Like, this is how you do storytelling. And honestly, I feel like the first 3 episodes introduced a lot of running things at once, and Hughie's mom was one of the big things that truly stuck with me out of that. And then we have Sam from Gen V. I am going to put him in meh, right below Becca. I think his character is interesting and he has enough, I guess, interesting impacts on other characters. But overall, I kind of found his whole like torturing in the hospital thing, like the forests, all that kind of stuff. It's interesting and it's mysterious, but I feel like we haven't got enough of that explained to us just yet. So I can't really put him in the good, great, or best of the best tier. And then we have Tek Knight. There's no party like a Tek Knight party, but I got to put him in meh. I'm going to put him honestly right below Butcher's mom. He's a fun ass character, dude. Like, he is hilarious. The montage in Gen V is generational shit. And then we have, I'm not gonna lie, forgetting the guy's name, Neuman's husband, who makes the V, not the temp V, but the V that kills all soups. He's gonna go. This is one of those characters where bro's in the show for like 10 minutes. He's gonna go in top of bad. I hate to do it to him. I think he has a good like impact on the story though, but other than that, not too exciting. And then we have the director. Forgetting bro's name. He's in Babylon as well and plays a director as well, and he is so hilarious.
Kike nose, Jaime hole, piece of mongoloid shit! I see you. Oh, I see you right there, you little Shylock dick face. Wipe your nose again. Wipe your little hook nose, you menorah motherfucker! I'm
gonna put him at Matt just because of how funny he is. Again, doesn't have a big impact on the show, but I love him. And then we have Stormfront, who's actually a really interesting character in my opinion. Character alone, I am gonna put her at the top of Matt. I think she's one of the most like underrated impacts on the entire series. Like, this is what truly makes Homelander start to tweak the fuck out in season 3, which I absolutely love. The whole like Nazi thing is nuts, and I just think her pairing with Homelander is crazy. The final moments of season 2 are just batshit insane. I love how Stormfront's character impacts this series. Again, super underrated. And then we have Tom. Fuck Tom.
You're not a father.
Someone's gotta be.
He got what he deserved this season. I'm gonna put him above Crimson Countess. At least he's entertaining. And then we have Kessler. Now this, okay, here's the thing. I love this idea about the whole Joe Kessler thing was so cool to me. I'm going to put Joe Kessler, I'm going to put him above Stan Edgar, right below Firecracker. The reason I put him below Firecracker is because overall Firecracker is more entertaining. I think not only did Joe Kessler's character have a little bit of a slower start, but I also think once he got like to that, I'm not going to spoil like the whole character arc with him, but once we got to that tipping point of him and Butcher's relationship, I feel like we didn't capitalize on that enough. But for what we got, man, was it exciting. The sequence where we get that big reveal, it's done so well. Carl Urban goes so well hand in hand with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. The actor who plays Becca as well was amazing in that sequence. And then we have the Deep's octopus, his significant other. I'm gonna put her in. Her is crazy. I'm gonna put it in meh, just underneath Tek Knight. They're both absolute freaks. And then we have Mom. I'm gonna put her in meh, just underneath Stormfront. I think her character implication in the first season is pretty great, but I think Stormfront is a little bit bigger and a little bit better. And then we have Soldier Boy. This was gonna be the introduction to the best of the best category, but I'm gonna go top of great for now. He could move up to the best of the best.
How hard?
What?
How hard did Butcher suck your dick that you miss him that much? His mouth must feel like a Hoover Deluxe.
I love Soldier Boy. He's rumored to have a big role in season 5, the final season, which I'm super excited about. But I love Soldier Boy, and I love his introduction in season 3, even though he's not even in like the majority of the first half of season 3. I love his relationship with Butcher and Homelander, and I think overall his character was just introduced at the perfect time in the series. He's an amazing catalyst, and Jensen Ackles gives one of the most entertaining performances of the entire show so far. And then we have Ryan, who I'm going to go in the middle of great, just below Starlight and above Kate. Overall, I used to think Ryan was super annoying, but I think his character actually has a lot of great and pretty essential storytelling throughout the entirety of this season. And though he is super pushed to the back of all of our essential storylines, I think whenever he is on screen, whether he's next to Anthony Starr or Carl Urban, he's always holding his own. And I think, again, the story, he goes back and forth, he's indecisive, but he's just a kid. And it used to be annoying to me when I just felt like, oh, I don't want to know my daddy. But now it feels entertaining because he actually has some level of motivation with his mom actually consciously being there. And then we have Neuman, which, hot take, she's gonna go at the top of great, and I think she could get to the best of the best by the end of next season. The reason I don't think she's in the best of the best yet is because from the point that she was introduced to now, she's been in a lot of things. She's done some really cool and crazy things, but she's still behind the scenes technically. Her character is never pushed to the forefront just yet. I think season 5 will be very different, but I feel like her big slow burn character is what's going to make her introduction long ago feel so essential in the final season. So by the end of the show, I would 100% expect her to be in Best of the Best. And then we have Queen Maeve, who hasn't been in season 4, but I'm going to put her at the near the top of good. I'll probably put her right below Frenchie.
It's like you wear a neon sign that says, raw dog me, I'm a bottom.
In regards to kind of, obviously we have new characters and not necessarily replace her, but obviously take up screen time that she would have had in previous seasons. I think she's much better than all of those characters just because her inherent closeness to Homelander from the beginning of season 1. She's in some absolutely iconic moments with Homelander in that she is the human eye from the perspective of where Homelander is at, which I think is a really cool concept because we'll talk about Hughie in a second, obviously, but Hughie is our human eye, but he's still on the level of the boys. She was a great character to have in the initial seasons of the show. And then we have Andre from Gen V. I'll put him in the top half of meh. I think overall we could have seen a lot more from this character in regards to the impact that he could have on other characters in Gen V. Sucks that we won't be getting to see more of Andre as the character because Chance Pedromo, the actor, did pass away, so they will be writing him out of Gen V. I'm interested to see how they do that and kind of where the series goes from there. Then we have Jordan Lee. I'm gonna go meh as well, but I'm actually gonna go bottom of meh. I don't necessarily think this is like the worst character in the world. I think the shapeshifting is really interesting, and obviously that allows for a lot of great storytelling with the implications with Marie's character as well, and a lot of the, I guess, thematic elements of belonging and understanding who you are, especially in a college environment. I think this is a great catalyst for that. And then we have Marie. I think Marie is pretty great. I'm going to put her just above The first episode of Gen V is absolutely haunting. The reason I think Kate is a little bit better is just because her arc feels a little bit more palpable to me. I feel like Marie has an arc for sure, but it's nothing that it's more of like a physical, like, hey, I can control what I'm doing now in XYZ, but there's no emotional or thematic evolution that we have with her character. But she's still in great. I think she is a great character. Her backstory is amazing. Her impact and being able to bring together all these characters is amazing. And again, another very entertaining character. And then we have Homelander. He is going in the best of the best. Anthony Starr delivers one of the greatest performances in TV show history with Homelander. Homelander is obviously a very, very easy allegory to modern politicians, and I think Anthony Starr plays that perfectly. Homelander doesn't necessarily have an A to Z evolution in this series, but that's not something that really bothers me. Obviously, the main complaint a lot of people have with The Boys is every season they just try to kill Homelander and he doesn't die or he doesn't go away or nothing really evolves with his character. I actually don't mind that because his character feels like such a big threat to all of the other characters that I'm just happy everyone survives if they do survive. But he's such a big threat that the main plot of the story doesn't necessarily have to be him moving his character forward. And then we have Hughie, another addition to the best of the best, but I will put him above Homelander. Hughie is the eyes of us. He is the humanistic element of this series. From the first second of the show to the final second of season 4, he is completely and utterly human. Obviously, he does get the temp V in season 3, but that's also when the character feels the least like the character, and that was my biggest problem, and honestly only problem with season 3 is that sometimes Hughie's character didn't feel like the Hughie that we knew, and he has been through the ringer in season 4, obviously, but that is what this character is. This is the character that goes through shit, but also knows how to still get shit done. We do get to explore an emotional side of the character in season 4, and overall I think he's just a character that does evolve over time. And unlike Homelander, he does have an A to Z evolution, and I think it works. But finally, we have Butcher. I'm going to go, honestly, above Homelander. Now, I feel like a lot of people won't agree with me on this one, but I think Karl Urban gives arguably the best performance of the series right behind Anthony Starr, especially in season 4. There's a bunch of sequences where he's just talking about mortality, and that one hits.
I can tell when you're lying.
And on top of that, he is probably the, I guess, actually funniest character out of our main 3 characters. Season 4, they throw a lot at us in regard to the mortality of Billy Butcher, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Yes, it is jarring to me, but I feel like that's what makes this character interesting, is that there is a level of unpredictability to this character. We feel like we know because we've been getting to know him for 4 seasons now, but there's still new things popping up that don't just feel like they're out of the blue. They do feel justified to an extent after knowing his character. And honestly, all of the top 3 characters in the best of the best could be switched around depending on what episode we're watching, because they're always giving phenomenal performances. But that wraps up my tier list for all of the characters in The Boys. Again, let me know your ranking for these characters in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.